Hi, my name is Rico Kedindago, and I am the Interim Director of the Office of Planning and Community Development, or OPCD. OPCD was created in 2015 to support thriving communities with an equitable approach to urban planning and community investment. One way this is done is through our Equitable Development Initiative. The EDI was envisioned by community organizations as a response to the displacement pressures and historical lack of investment that has occurred in communities of color in Seattle. The Little Saigon Landmark Project was born from a community vision. It will be a gathering place where community can come together to share culture in space that the community can call their own, and where small businesses can receive technical assistance. The development will reflect Vietnamese culture, history, and the community's future.
So the Friends of Little Saigon really started as a grassroots effort. A group of small businesses and concerned community members came together just to organize, to attend city hall meetings, to discuss concerns that were happening in the neighborhood around anti-displacement and changes that are occurring in the neighborhood. And then the Friends of Little Saigon was created after a Little Saigon Park project. And that project really spurred on additional projects, which then determined that we really needed an organization to take on some of this work in the neighborhood.
What started as a volunteer-led group is now a fully staffed organization of about 4 staff, and our mission is to preserve and enhance the cultural, economic, and historic vitality of Little Saigon. Little Saigon today is grown out of many small family-owned refugee businesses, and over time we've seen a lot of changes. So the landscape is changing, as many people have seen. And with that change comes some struggles with maintaining some of our family-owned legacy businesses. But at the same time, we're seeing a greater increase in people living here, which is an exciting thing to see. So as we keep going on, we're seeing a combination of residential and commercial coming to the neighborhood. Family-owned businesses are what makes Little Saigon the cultural or heart home for many Vietnamese Americans in the region and across the state. We have everything from grocery stores to restaurants to accounting offices to salons, and families come from nearby and across the state to get culturally and linguistically relevant goods and services. It's very important for these family businesses to be able to continue operating so that they can provide relevant goods and services to the people who rely on them.
There's never been a holistic neighborhood plan for Little Saigon. The community really came together to figure out how we should go about it and what we want the neighborhood to look like, as well as some of the longer term policy and issue changes in the neighborhood. The EDI really helped to leverage community power and continue to build on that idea of ownership within the various communities that this whole effort is supposed to be supporting. So from the Little Saigon Action Plan, a physical project that came out of it is called the Little Saigon Landmark, which centers around creating a cultural center. The Little Saigon Landmark takes on this vision for a cultural center, but then broadens it within the environment of downtown mix and the changing demographics of Little Saigon. The cultural center is at the heart of the landmark, but then it also combines commercial space on the ground floor and then affordable housing up top. So it was important for us to not only partner with others who could take on this project, but we needed investment and resources from the city to be able to take this on. The Landmark project is still in progress. Being able to address some of the displacement pressures, we had to do something. Then the Little Saigon Creative came about. The vision and goals were similar to the Landmark in terms of we want to do culture, we want to do small business support, and have a home base for the Friends of Little Saigon to work out of.
Community engagement is a large part of what drives our work. For example, one of our programs is small business technical assistance. Other things include helping to advocate for equitable development, especially when there are many new developments coming into the neighborhood. We try to engage with our community to hear what people's interests are in the types of housing, what needs to go in the public realm, what can make the neighborhood safe. Lastly, we also do a lot of cultural events and cultural programming. We know that there are a lot of young Vietnamese Americans who struggle to maintain a sense of connection to their culture. And because of that, we have built up a Vietnamese language course specifically for Vietnamese American adults to help them relearn their language and feel more connected to their families, their culture and heritage. The Chinatown-International District in Little Saigon, we started experiencing things very early in 2020, like January or February. There was a lot of xenophobia and misinformation about how the virus was transmitted, and that had major consequences for the neighborhood. Friends of Little Saigon and two of our neighborhood partners we work very closely with, SCIPTA and the Chinatown ID Business Improvement Area, we formed the Chinatown ID Small Business Relief Team. And through that, we coordinated our efforts. So we were able to very systematically work with the businesses across the entire neighborhood to make sure that they did not slip through the cracks. So we started up our Chinatown-International District Small Business Relief Fund, which brought in just under $1 million in donations. And we distributed that $1 million across small businesses in the neighborhood and supplemented that with helping people apply for other grants by other public and private donors. And through that, we were able to bring in another $2 million to small businesses to help deal with some of their losses over the past year. The services and connections that we have with our businesses are really important because we have the trust and people recognize that we are a resource for them. That has benefited all of us significantly throughout the pandemic.
I believe that only in partnership, both with each other and other community partners, and the city is an important piece of that, can we build toward the future that we want to see. We have to do this together. I do believe that social change is achievable in part through built environment work. This investment in community is just the beginning of addressing the harms and building toward healing in communities that have been affected by poor decisions in planning and development, such as redlining and racial housing covenants. Thank you for supporting our communities.